SuburbiGays, da 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 da. SuburbiGays, da 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 da. SuburbiGays, da 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 da. Theme song. Hello, I'm here today with Mayor Jen White of Jen Laird White of the village of Nyack, and she's here to talk about some of her duties as mayor, but also primarily about same-sex marriage, her thoughts and views on it, what's been going on in the village, and issues of that nature. Hello, Mayor White. How are you?
Hi, Rick. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Always good to see you.
Thank you. I'm well. I think you may know I interviewed the former mayor, John Shields, about same-sex marriage, and a lot of people were interested in that. So I just wanted to get your view on your opinion on same-sex marriage, and then how it affects the village of Nyack, which is in New York, in the USA, and what your first official duties as mayor were, because you were just elected in approximately 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
No, almost 6 months.
Is it now. 6? Wow.
6 months.
That's amazing. 6 months already. Okay.
Well, why don't I start by saying that John Shields I consider to be a friend and a mentor, and I've always admired his unbelievable persistence in the area of gay marriage. Obviously, he has a lot of personal stake, but he also, politically really stepped out there and made sure that his voice was heard, representing, I think, countless numbers of gay men and women who just wanted to be able to love the person they loved. So I watched John for years from the sidelines as a friend with deep admiration, and I think no one can be happier with what New York State and our governor has done recently. My personal views on gay marriage are that nobody should deny two people who love each other the right to commit, to have a family. Everyone in this country and on this planet should have these rights. I think it's deeply shameful that we don't allow people to, and we should work very hard to make that change. I said at Gay Pride last weekend, it's frustrated me that our president has had no voice on this subject, and finally he seems to be finding his voice. And I think we have to get strong enough and shout out people who don't think it's a good idea, or even if we're not shouting them out, convince them, help them to understand that love is love and commitment is commitment, and that we should not be doing anything to keep people from committing and raising families.
Well, thank you. I want to point out that the Rockland County Gay Pride was on June 10th of this year. So it's generally a fair with a lot of booths and vendors and things of that nature, some entertainment, and it's put on by VCS, which is an organization here in Rockland County. And I appreciate their funding that for the people here. As far as your first official duties as being mayor, what were some of them?
Well, on this topic, one of my first official duties was to marry two men on their 22nd anniversary. And it was this incredible experience because, John loves marrying people. He's actually Nyack's marriage officer.
That's Mayor John Shields.
Mayor John Shields. And I assumed that I would like marrying people. It seems like a wonderful thing to do and a happy thing to do. But I'd never actually done it. And I'm 2 weeks into being a new mayor, and I had agreed to do this with two friends of mine who are wonderful, wonderful men, J.P. Schutz and Bob Mattern, who have been together forever and ever. I actually spoke at their wedding, spoke as part of the ceremony, and I explained that I had eyed them when my kids were little and I was new to Nyack and they were stroller bound, and I would watch JP and Bob through the window of the Runcible Spoon, our local coffee shop, and I would see them all the time, and they were such a devoted, loving couple. That they sort of fascinated me, in the way that you move to a new place and you're trying to figure out who everybody is, and then years later to be given this incredible opportunity to actually be the person who joined them in legal matrimony. It was an unbelievably beautiful ceremony, an unbelievably beautiful wedding. It was sort of shocking to me because most mayoral duties are you know, village hall, civil unions. You sort of quickly do the business. You read the vows, and people leave. This was a full-blown wedding, and as I'm standing up there with the piece I'd written and the vows, the overwhelming sense of responsibility and joy at being able to do this for these two people who never thought they'd see the day that they were legally husband and husband.
That's true.
So it was an incredible experience. It still makes me a little teary. You know, the other day I was planning a wedding with two women who've been together for almost 30 years. Again, same deal. They never thought they'd see this day. They didn't think they cared that much, except that they were giggling and I was teasing them about being bridezillas, and it meant so much to them to be doing this, to be allowed to plan this kind of commitment, even though there was no question that they were going to stay together forever, that they were going to love each other forever. But somehow, you know, this legal recognition is very important. It's very important, and I don't think people who've been denied it can understand how important it is.
It really is important because a lot of people think civil unions have the same legal rights as marriage, and it doesn't, because although civil unions may allow you to visit somebody in the hospital, things of that nature, and possibly get benefits from wherever they work, depending on the company, but being married also has huge tax consequences that currently in New York State we can file as a married couple, but still federally we can't, or gay people can't, and they actually have to calculate their taxes 4 different ways to see which is beneficial for them, since the federal government still does not recognize, as far as taxes go, same-sex marriage. So there are huge implications, even just monetarily and tax-wise, because some of your state deductions and allowances are based on your federal return. So there's a lot of research that needs to be involved before.
Well, yes, and the practical reasons behind it's like, why does anyone care? You know, if two people who love each other are allowed to marry each other, what is that? That has no impact on your marriage. It has no impact on your life. It only affects them. I've never understood the sort of sanctimonious sense that marriage is a privilege that should only be shared by men and women. It's a bizarre thing. And, you know, in a nation where the divorce rate approaches 50%, it's like, really? Clearly we take this so seriously. It's such a precious right that we're willing to throw it away half the time.
And I think a lot of people confuse the civil portion of marriage with the religious portion of marriage, and I can understand how religiously some people may object, but if we separate those two issues, then it almost seems that there should be no opposition to same-sex marriage. But I realize for a lot of people, the religious aspect of it is for them the issue. We don't have much time left, but I see the Art Walk poster is in back of you. I believe that was from 2011. We just had our Art Walk here in Nyack, in New York State, in the USA. Last weekend, which was June 16th, of which you can see that on SuburbiGays. This is Rick Worthington saying thank you, Mayor White, for your interview. And everybody remember, SuburbiGays.com is the blog with the pictures, and SuburbiGays, do a search on YouTube, is the videos for now. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day. Bye.